Hello there guys, and welcome back to the series. Welcome back to our epic quest across Europe to win the top flight division in the European nations in the game. I'm your host Dean. We've made it to nation number 28, which you may know from the end of last episode, after we won the league on goal difference with Feyenoord beating Ajax at the death. We're in Portugal, and the question is, did we get into one of the big boys to make our life a little bit easier? And the answer to that question is yes, we did. We are now the manager of Benfica. As usual, it's a move which is sure to spark plenty of heated debate. I don't know why, because of the reputation that we've got now precedes us, and that's why we're able to get into these top jobs. Salzburg, Feyenoord, Benfica, all in a row. We've looked in again with the manager leaving, but we arrived with a record of 1,601 wins across our career. We've now passed 2,500 games in our career. 35 league titles, 24 cups, one of which was a European trophy for the first time last season, 60 odd years into our career. Our contract with Feyenoord was only a year-long contract, so it did expire, so I haven't actually left the club, broken my contract. But we do move in as the manager of Benfica, and the media prediction in the table is first. They've got 3 Champions Leagues, most recently in 2038, 79 Liga Portugal titles in 2086. They've actually won the last 4 in a row, which we'll go into in just a moment. We'll make the squad in a moment as well, but I don't see me having to make too many changes to the squad. Of course, they are 4-time in a row winners. In fact, if we have a look at the league, they've won it the last 4. Now, I have put a real name fix in because it was getting really, I didn't know who was who, let's put it that way. I could work out Braga, and maybe he's a couple of the other ones, but apart from that, Maritimo I think was the other one I could work out, but apart from that I couldn't work them out. So I've put a real name fix in going forward. In terms of like past winners, I think we touched on it briefly at the end of last season. It has been predominantly Benfica, with Porto a little bit mixed in. Now, in terms of the season preview, Porto are actually predicted to finish just ahead of us. But I'm confident that we can win the table, particularly with odds as good as that, and we'll be ticking nation number 20 off just as quickly as we ticked 26 and 27 off. My contract here is a 2-year one, so to move on to the next nation, which I think is France, I will have to break my contract if we knock it off this season with Benfica. Obviously, I am hoping that we do. In terms of our manager history, this is our 35th club. We've managed 3 nations. Longest time at the club was 2,000 days. That was, of course, the nightmare that we had in Denmark. We know about the signings and stuff like that. Financially, Benfica are in a healthy position, £36.5 million at the bank. Not too much of a transfer budget, but they've got a massive £2.5 million a week wage budget, which is obviously sustainable to them. That we've seen the value of some players that we've had from Portugal ourselves, particularly when we were at Salzburg. But you can see the kind of money that we've made. They've actually sold a player this month. I'm not entirely sure who it is. I've not obviously been through it yet. There's a couple of loans gone out. Let's have a look at the end of last month to see who it was who has gone out on who we have sold. I can't see anybody who we've sold in the last month, unless it's loan fees. We'll have a look at that. We are going to quickly make the squad though, guys. Of course, the club vision as well is to win the league. So in terms of squad, the best player at the club is considered to be João Ricardo. Now, he's a mid-centre / attacking midfielder. Of course, that's not a thing that we play in our system. So in terms of what we do play in our system, as a segundo volante, he can do a perfect job, and I will look to retrain him on that. The 25-year-old Brazilian, formerly of Palmeiras. Next up is Marcos. He is a left-sided winger, but as an inside forward on attack, again, very, very good. Agile, quick, good dribbling, very good crossing. We might actually look to play him as a winger going forward. Another Brazilian in the squad. Finishing lets him down just a little bit for that inside forward, and he doesn't enjoy big matches, but obviously we can work with that. Striker is Pius Akinyemi, a 31-year-old Nigerian. His first touch is absolutely immense. He, off the ball, 20, decisions 18, composure 18. Wow, we've got a striker on our hands here, guys, and he scored 89 in 126 appearances so far for Benfica. We possibly faced him when we were in Belgium for Ghent. I can't remember what years we were in Belgium, but it's possible that we did come up against him a couple of times when we were over there. Next up is Diogo Bertosa Weitzer, a 31-year-old Croatian, right-sided. Again, possibly better as a winger, but as an inside forward, I think he is better as a winger. But again, agility, pace, technique, absolutely fantastic. We may look to change the inside forwards to wingers, maybe inverted wingers. We'll see how that one goes. Now, of course, we have joined in July, so we haven't reached the point where the season starts yet. I don't need to sign anybody, so we're not going to go through any signings this season, guys. We've got one hell of a squad here in Benfica. Look at the wages that they're on, £125,000 a week. This is absolutely astronomical in terms of wages. What these guys are earning, it's unreal, isn't it? Yeah, I do have pre-season to go through. Obviously, we've got some friendlies. We do have a Super Cup against Porto as well, which hopefully we'll be looking to win. And then it's Porto in the league as well. So we're going to go away now, guys. We're going to go away, and I'm going to go and do the pre-season. We'll come back. We'll take on 2 games. I'm only sort of 6 minutes in so far. There's not really a lot to go over. We've sort of met the best players at the squad. We'll meet the squad when we take on Porto. But I'm going to go away now, do the pre-season and the Super Cup. We'll come back. We'll take on Porto and Braga in the league and see exactly how we get on. Right then, guys, welcome back. One thing I quickly wanted to touch on, because I did mention that we looked in terms of the manager. He was here for 3 years. 3 years, and then he just left his manager role. I'm not entirely sure why he left. He's currently a free agent, or he was a free agent. Is he still a free agent? He's the Spain manager. When we took over, he was a free agent. So whether his contract expired, I'm not entirely sure. In fact, it does say departed the manager of Benfica at the end of his contract. So he just, either Benfica didn't renew his contract, or Perez himself did not renew his contract. But he's now the Spain manager. So that's why we've looked in again, guys. He's been around a bit, hasn't he? England, he's been the Spain manager previously. Former Copenhagen manager as well. Obviously, that might have even been, we might have took over from him when we were the Copenhagen manager. Former Kiryat Shimona manager. He seems to have managed the same clubs that we have. Quick glance at pre-season. Very, very good, including the 5-2 win over Liverpool. We did win the Super Cup as well against Porto, and it's Akinyemi getting the only goal of the game. We did dominate the game as well, which was very, very good. That could lead us into a good result here against Porto. It may not. It may sort of backfire against us. We are away from home at the Estadio do Dragão. I think that's pronounced. Again, apologies for my pronunciation, guys, for some of these Portuguese names. I don't speak Portuguese, so I do apologise. You can see the league has already kicked off. There's a couple of teams already played twice. Porto have already played as well. They've won a game. We're yet to play. So let's get into the game, guys. Let's have a look at the first lineup that we're going to go for this season, and we'll meet the players. In goal, we have Kim Boesen, a 24-year-old Dane, formerly of Midtjylland. A very, very good goalkeeper. Quite pleased with him. Conceded 60 and 89 in his Benfica career. Again, 69 and 74 for Midtjylland as well is very, very good. 63 caps for Denmark at the age of 24. Tells you the calibre of player we've got. Right back, this is the best lineup that we've got this season, by the way, guys. I've played about with it in pre-season. Got some players to sort of fit positions. This is what I think is the best lineup, and it will be probably the main starting lineup for the season. But at right back, it is the 30-year-old Mexican Hector Vazquez. As a wing-back on support, very, very good. He's got decent pace. He can defend. Good agility. Dribbling, questionable. But his concentration, decisions, positioning, teamwork, work rate, all very, very good for the Mexican. Centre half, the first one is Pedro Costa, and it is the 30-year-old Portuguese. Very, very good centre-half. Natural as a ball-playing defender as well. Can pass, can defend. He's got some decent at 6'1". Maybe a little bit short. I'm 6'3", and I think I'm quite short for a centre-half. But decision-making, good. Alongside him is going to be Nazareno. He's a 28-year-old, beg your pardon, Ecuadorian. Again, another one who's natural as a ball-playing defender, which is good to see. 6'1" again, but he's got very, very good jumping reach. The former Celtic man, been at Benfica for around about a season, 3 seasons actually. We may have even faced him when we were in Scotland, because I think this was the season that we were in Scotland, possibly. In fact, it is. So we may have faced up against Nazareno before. Left back for today is Lourenço, naturally a centre-half, but can play as a defensive midfielder and as a left-back on a wing-back slot on support. Again, very, very good. Defensively good. Okay at dribbling. Lacks a little bit in pace, but 32-year-old Portuguese is getting on a little bit. Formerly of RB Salzburg, £46.5 million. Been here for quite a number of years now as well. Defensive midfielder going into the season. Again, another one who is natural as a centre-half, so he could play there for us if we need a little bit of rotation. But he's going to be the defensive midfielder on defend for us this season. Again, very, very good defensively. Got good stamina and strength, concentration, stuff like that. He's very, very naturally fit as well. The 28-year-old Colombian, formerly of America de Cali. 2 Senador Volantes this season is going to be Caixão Kante. We'll probably just call him Kante, just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves with our pronunciations. As a Segundo Volante on attack, astronomical, apart from his finishing. It's the only thing that lets him down. Stamina, fantastic strength, pace. So he's quick and powerful, a world-class midfielder with a resolute personality as well. 30-year-old Ivorian, very, very good. The other one is going to be João Ricardo, considered to be the best player at the club. We are training to be that Segundo Volante. He is starting to pick it up. He's unconvincing still, but we've only had pre-season. He's currently wanted as well by Barcelona. We've got a couple of players who are wanted by Barcelona, but he's not going for anything less than, 80 million on 100k a week if we do decide to move him on. The wingers for today is going to be Mina. Now, the Marcos, who is the actual starting lineup, picked up an injury in pre-season. He's back to full fitness tomorrow, so he's not going to get a game today. Melvert Yildiz, by the way, I think is another player who we recognise from RB Salzburg. I think I actually sold him when I was at Salzburg to Benfica for £7.5 million. But he's here, so he's on the bench. But starting left side today is going to be Diego Mina. Again, with a fair amount of playing time, we've had to promise him. While Marcos is injured, he will get that game. Is an inside forward on attack, very similar to the others. Very, very good apart from his finishing. So again, we could look to do the winger thing there. It is going to be Bartosa Weitzer as the right-sided inside forward. Again, another one who's wanted by Milan. He was wanted by Barcelona, but he's another one who's not leaving for any link less than £62 million at 31 years old. And then up top, it is going to be Akinyemi, the Nigerian 31-year-old. Also wanted by Barcelona and Salzburg, but we're not accepting anything less than his value there for him if we decide to move him on, because he is one hell of an advance forward with his attributes. Just quickly, I didn't glance over the league rules with us as well. There are a couple of league rules in terms of squad registration. A minimum of 7 first-year senior players in the squad. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm sure we'll work it out when I pick a squad that doesn't meet that criteria. I'm sure I'll work it out. But maximum squad size of 53 players, which is fine. That's massive. Players can be registered at any time, and free transfers can be registered at any time, which is good. Pretty lax, really, in terms of the rules. I don't understand that one. The first year senior players, I really don't understand that one. But I'm sure that I'll figure it out as the season goes on. But that's the squad, guys. That is our main starting lineup for the season, minus Marcos. Let's get into the game. Hopefully we can beat Porto. So we get the game underway in as our career as the manager of Benfica. Hopefully we knock it off straight away. It's Lourenço with a throw-in. Finds João Ricardo. Back to Lourenço. Gives it back to João Ricardo again. Good tackle, though, by the Porto man. And it is Porto streaking away with Enriquez, I think that says, finds Garcia. Looking to advance down the left. Vasquez does really well, cuts across, and now it's Bertosa Weitzer into Kante. Switches the play to the left, and Mina. Can't Mina do anything to deserve his playing time that he's asking for? Switch back to Kante, nods it on for Vasquez. We're inside the Benfica penalty area. Is that a penalty? Tackle by Garcia. It looked like a very, very good challenge to me, but he came in from the side and slightly behind. But it wouldn't be a game of Football Manager 23 without the VAR check, of course, would it? I think it's not a penalty. We're about to find out, though. I think it's a good tackle, and correctly. As a player who's a defensive player, by the way, guys, when I do play football, I play as a defensive midfielder. I would be pretty happy with that tackle. It was quite a good one. 15 minutes in though, guys, and Porto do look like the team that are threatening the most. They are on top. We've just had a little bit of momentum come Benfica's way though. Is this our opportunity to get something out of the game? And it is Porto coming forward with the ball. It's Elton, forced back into Rodriguez, feeds the ball forward, comes back to Rodriguez. Can we apply the pressure and pinch the ball off them? It's Gassemi. Good ball forward towards Garcia. He's in the area, and Garcia, Marco Antonio Garcia, gives Porto the lead in the 34th minute, and that's very, very disappointing. Of course, if we are going to win this Portuguese title, we're going to have to beat Porto at least once. You'd imagine that we'd do it at the Estadio da Luz. Of course, the Stadium of Light, that translates to, I do know that in Portuguese. As a Sunderland supporter who played at the Stadium of Light, I do know that we share a name with Benfica in terms of stadium. That's my one little bit of Portuguese I know, guys. But we're approaching half-time, and it's quite disappointing to be behind. We've not really performed so far. I think I'm going to have to get a little bit shouty with the boys at half-time. Right, we're approaching the final 20 minutes of the game, and Benfica, my players just don't seem to have turned up. We've had 8 shots now in total, none of which have hit the target, which is very disappointing. We are not playing great, and we do have our first highlight of the second half, and it's with 10 minutes remaining. But it is for Porto coming forward. It's the goal scorer Garcia. They've passed it around nicely. They've fed the ball forward to Garcia with the long ball over the top. It's a good ball into the box towards Karel de Vries, who makes it 2-0 to Porto. And this is a disappointing start to our career as the manager of Benfica, losing to our fierce rivals in Porto, our league rivals. Because let's be honest, it's between Porto and Benfica. We saw that in history. Yes, there's still a gelling period to go through for these Benfica players in terms of my tactic, getting used to that. But this is a poor showing. That's a good ball forward, looking for Bertosa Weitzer, though, who's in, and he gets one back. Diogo Bertosa Weitzer, with his first goal of the season, the Croatian, gets one back for Benfica late on. And finally, we've done something going forward. It's a really, really good ball forward by Cooperman with his left foot. And Bertosa Weitzer, using some of that agility and his pace that he's got, gets in behind the defence and does pull up one back for us, but I think it's too little too late in terms of how Benfica have performed. We've had one shot on target the whole game, guys, which is not great, but in terms of XG, we've actually been the better team, which just shows you that XG is not everything. That is proof of the pudding in that. We've had one shot on target, and we have scored it. It was a good finish, it was a good play, but unfortunately we have lost our first game. So just confirmation, I know it's only the first game of the season, guys, but obviously Porto now with 2 wins from 2, the goal difference of 4, moved to the top of the table already. We find ourselves down in 14th place. Obviously we've only played 1 game. So we've got a little bit of work to do already, and hopefully we can start that off against Braga, who are yet to play a game, so we don't know what kind of form they're in. It's in 4 days' time, guys, so I'll go away now, work through those 4 days, we'll come back, we'll take on Braga, and then we'll wrap up the episode. Right, guys, welcome back. We've made it to the Braga game. Braga did win their game, by the way. They won 1-0, but it was a day after ours, so they've only had 3 days to prepare, whereas we've had 4. We are going to make a couple of changes today. We're going to bring Marcos back in. Mina was quite poor in that last game. We're going to put Mina on the bench, so we're also going to make a change up front, and we're going to bring in Mikel Bishara. Now, he is another one who is a very, very good forward, advanced forward on attack. He's fantastic. He really is fantastic. 25-year-old Chilean. He does want to be recognised as an important player in the squad, so I'm going to give him some game time. Again, he's got 26 and 40 for the club. Possibly rotate him throughout the season with Akinyemi, because Akinyemi is pretty much the star striker here. But if it does become a case where Akinyemi goes to Barcelona or Salzburg, and I get the money I want for him, then it could be Bashara who becomes the main striker at the club. So that's the lineup today against Braga. It is at the Estadio da Luz, so I'm fully expecting a win in today's game. So we get the game underway, and we're looking to get our season underway as well. It is Braga with the first highlight of the game though. It's Oliveira, the left back, with the ball, finds Rameal, I think it's how pronounced, switches the play out to the right-sided player there, whose name I didn't quite catch. It's Marcatio or something like that, but Costa comes across, cuts that one out, finds Lourenço, Nazareno to Lourenço again, bringing the ball forward, the left back, over halfway, good ball forward towards Bashara, he's faced up by the defender, gets past him, cuts to the byline, gets the ball across towards Kante. Kante's hit the post. That would have been some start to the game. 25th minute, Marcos with a free kick, looking toward Costa at the back post. We've hit the woodwork again. It's hit the top of the crossbar and gone behind. It was a good header there by Costa, I think, who got on the end of it. Great free kick in from Marcos though. But as we approach the half-hour mark, we've not really threatened too much. Again, we've got that free kick, this time towards Nazareno, but the Braga player does manage to head it clear, and now it's Carre to Herculano, Maricato, Costa, Rafael. Braga moving the ball around nicely here. Back to Rafael, to Herculano. Switches out to the right, and Maricato. Lourenço does really well and tackles him there. Looks to feed Bashara, but it's slightly overhit, and the Braga defence do clean that one up quite nicely. Oliveira finding Rafael, to Oliveira again. They've given the ball away. That's a poor ball forward, and Vasquez pulls it down out the air. Finds Costa into Kante. Costa again. Kante again. Ball over the top for Patosa Vaitza, who's in behind the defence here. Pulls it back for Vasquez. Gets his effort away. It's gone just wide of the post again from the Benfica players. But we're starting to threaten. Braga have not threatened at all until now, of course, until I open my mouth. And Braga probably score now. Deflected cross, which Rafael gets on the end of. And they do score. That's the first attack they've had this game. In the 37th minute, and it's ended up in the back of the net. Deflected cross. There are three defenders around him, around Rafael, and he still manages to get there. And that's not good, is it? Not good. As we approach half time, we find ourselves behind at home, and I don't think we've ever lost 2 games in a row. Now Kante's been sent off. Look, for an absolute nothing. By the way, there was nothing in that. And this is possibly the worst start that we've ever had to a season, which when you consider that we're Benfica, shouldn't be happening. So at half time, Benfica 0, Braga 1. Benfica down to 10 men as well. We've hardly touched the ball according to this, but we've had most of the effort so far. Much better effort needed in the second half. Right, there's an hour on the clock, guys, and it's just not happening. Nothing's happening. Going to bring Akinyemi back on. We're also going to bring Marcos off. He's not had the best of games on a 6.3. We're going to go with João Almeida. I haven't looked at him, I'll be honest. He's okay. He's listed for loan. We'll give him a game. Hopefully we can get back into this one. We need to get at least a point from the opening episode of the season. We can't be 6 points behind Porto and Sporting and Braga already at this stage of the season. And hopefully this is the opportunity. It's going to be Akinyemi back on to the pitch in the 69th minute. Can he score from this free kick? It's a good one. The goalkeeper claws it off the line. Forces the Benfica player, who took far too long, allowed the goalkeeper to get back up. And Braga have cleared the ball, which Akinyemi goes and collects. Finds Vasquez. I thought we were maybe still going to come forward there. But these 62,000 Benfica fans inside the Estadio da Luz will be demanding a goal here against Braga. It just doesn't look like it's going to come though, guys. We're into injury time at the end of the game, and we've lost again and not played well again. 33% possession is not good. I know we've spent half the game with 10 men, but that is another poor result, particularly at home. So after that, everybody's played 2 games now, guys, and we're effectively joint bottom. We're 16th out of 18, We are effectively joint bottom of the table. Porto, Sporting and Braga already all have a 6-point gap on us, which is very, very disappointing. Now, in terms of how long the season is, guys, it is just a straightforward league table. There's 34 games in the season with 18 teams. So that means we're probably going to be back after sort of 11, 12 games around this sort of area somewhere. And hopefully we've picked up by then. The next game is against Maritimo at home, who currently are in 14th position. So hopefully we can get our season started then. And we'll catch up with what's been going on in the next episode, guys. But thank you for watching and welcome to Portugal. A very disappointing start, particularly given the size of the club that we are. I've got some work to do with this squad, apparently, despite them being the second best team in the league with by a country mile as well. So for whatever reason, I've got some work to do. Disappointing start to the season though, guys. It will pick up and we'll be back to winning ways in no time at all. I'm pretty sure of it, like I say, with the squad that we've got. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Welcome to Portugal, and I'll see you all on the next episode, guys. So cheers, and I'll see you later.